Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of The Literary Tasting. My name is Jessica.
My name is Annie.
Every week on a literary tasting, we read a book, we have a drink, and most importantly, we complain.
Yeah.
It's a Sunday morning today. All we have for you guys today is water and lattes.
Yeah. Can't do it. Can't do anything else than that. Sorry. I feel like we've also been recording quite consistently, like Sunday, Saturday morning when like we're already like boots hungover or just like cannot drink another lick of alcohol. So sorry. Maybe one of these days we'll get a morning drink, but for right now...
If I was gonna pick a drink for this, it would be like a strawberry lemonade.
Oh. Okay.
But I also have no money, so I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy a strawberry lemonade for us to taste the strawberry lemonade and be like, tastes like strawberry lemonade.
Yeah, and then not drink it anymore after that.
Yeah, right.
Put that.
Before we get started, if you guys don't mind, please subscribe. Once again, I hate my job. I really want to be Tana Mojo in the PJ. So let's go ahead and lock in and subscribe.
Telling them to lock in. Go ahead and lock in for me.
This week we're reading Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I hope I'm saying that last name correctly.
I think so.
It came out like a month ago maybe at this point, so it's a more recent read. If you haven't read it, go ahead and pick it up.
Yeah.
But make sure you stay and watch this whole video.
Yeah.
There are going to be spoilers though.
Many spoilers ahead. Yeah, this came out April 1st, I checked. So literally 2 weeks ago even, 3 weeks ago. I didn't realize it was like one of her most recent releases. I thought this was like one of her older books.
I feel like she'd be pumping these things out.
She do, and I have actually never read an Abby Jimenez book before, like before this one. So I was really excited. I actually saw her talk at like a book convention here in DC like last year, which was really, really fun to see her talk. And she was so nice and like, it was really interesting. It was a whole like thing about how to write like a good sex scene in a rom-com book.
Ooh.
I know. So I was so excited to read this and did not disappoint. So
yeah, this is also my first read by her, so.
Yeah.
There also wasn't a ton of, what we're talking about, there wasn't a ton of sex in this book.
Yeah.
And I rejoiced at that.
Me too.
Because I simply can't.
I had to take a break from the word cock. Sometimes we have to take a break from the word cock, and yeah, we needed it.
Especially after last week's read. If you haven't watched it, go watch that video right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Even that one I feel like has been was tamer than some of the other things we've read, but that...
Well, because if it's a crazy sex scene, if it's written well, it doesn't matter. But I feel like we're getting off topic.
We are. But before we get into it, there's definitely some trigger warnings in this book that I want to make sure we mention. There's, I put down domestic parental abuse of all kinds, mental, physical, emotional. Like, is my fridge gonna... Okay. We have animal abuse in there, illness in the family, and by that, dementia, memory loss. Deals with dementia specifically, but I guess Alzheimer's as well. If like you have that, I think maybe this, or if that's something that you've dealt with, I think maybe this might be a little bit of a triggering topic. And then infidelity. I don't know if there's anything else I needed to add there. Do you think there's anything I missed?
Okay.
Yeah, that felt like everything I needed to put in. So, I mean, obviously if those things are gonna be hard for you to listen to, then, you know, proceed with caution. But I thought it was good. I don't know. I thought she handled these topics with care.
Yeah.
So, yeah, take that as you will. Now, with our characters, I only give a fuck about the two main characters. I was like not about to go cast other people. So we have our main couple, Xavier Rush. What a crazy name.
I'm sorry. No more Xavier. And also the word rush is very triggering for me as well. I think for you as well. But I don't like that word. Enough with these weird, like Zayden, Resand, Xavier.
We're like,
but I guess to be fair, if they named him Kyle, I'd be like, really?
Yeah, actually. Like,
no man named Kyle is sexy. But
yeah, that's actually so fair.
But
they
still,
have to do something zany, but
yeah.
Yeah, still. We have to find a happy medium here.
For Xavier, I casted Ivan Jogia.
Wow. Good one.
I love him. She literally, I will say, I did kind of laugh because she, instead of describing him in any physical way,
yeah,
she's like, have you read Akatar? Resand.
Right. I was like, girl.
She said, my work here is done.
She said, I'm not gonna give him a description. Do what you will with that.
Like, she said, fine. You guys like him so goddamn much? Here. Here's him in a different context.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, thank you. I missed him.
Okay.
I casted Jacob Elordi.
Fair enough.
She said he was boots tall.
Right.
Boom.
I miss him. What's he up to?
I don't know. I think he's like filming something else right now, so he's like, you know, off the grid a little bit. But he always pops up with his tote bag and book here and there, and I love to see him. Yeah, I mean, she said literally gave him no other description besides like resand, tall as fuck, and
oh, I know it of the not cool.
yeah, and then you know just being like built like a door. Jacob Elordi is like giving me pretty much everything, but like except for like maybe one of those things. But I feel like there was no one else I could cast. Honestly, this is another situation where I was like, I'll do what I can make fit, but it's hard to cast the perfect man in these roles. Like, where I can't find this man.
Well, especially because the one that they're just like, I can't picture anybody for Rhys-Sam.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know even. I feel like he's such an enigma at this point that it's like they just need to make the movie, and the casting directors need to do their job.
They need to go find like an unknown celebrity, like someone brand new to the scene to like fit this role, because I cannot imagine anyone as him at all. So when she said that, I said, well, that's amazing, but I cannot picture him as anyone now. So I said Jacob Elordi for the context of just putting someone in there, but you know. Now we have our female main character, Samantha. Good one. I casted her as the sister.
Melissa Barrera.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's why I didn't cast her as our main
Scream.
girl. From Scream. She casted her as Melissa Barrera.
AKA Sam from Scream.
Yeah.
Queen, come back to Scream.
No.
I understand why you left. But I miss you.
We miss you, but no.
I understand why you left.
Yeah, she took the stand. We love her. And I was gonna cast her, however, I was like, I want to make this work, and she's like a couple years older than Jacob Elordi, so I said, let me find someone who's the same age. I was doing my research. I casted Camilla Morone. Do you know her? She was in Daisy Jones and the Six. I just felt like I chewed with this. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. She is stunningly gorgeous. Hard to look at her sometimes.
Yeah, close that.
Yeah, but she's a great actress, and he said like the moment I saw her, she was boots beautiful and had like a fucking megawatt smile and was like curvy gorgeous. I said, oh, Camilla Morone.
The knowledge that like nobody is thinking that about me is so harmful.
I know, me too. Moving on.
This one was particularly difficult for me because the main character is a veterinarian. I didn't know that when I picked this read, but I was like,
it's hitting too close for you.
Yeah.
I think it was also a hard one just because like
He was so sexy.
he was so sexy, and like I texted her this the other day when we were sitting here screaming bring back men who yearn. Abby said not a problem.
Yeah, he yearns so badly, and it's like he's yearning so badly, and I can't. All I get is a 3 a.m. text message being like, you can come over. Not do you want to, not I'd like you to. You can.
You can if you want. Oh my god.
And normally I'm not a stickler for like the verbiage, you know, especially because sometimes people try to be nonchalant, but it's like, it's clear that it was not in a nonchalant way. It was that it was in an, I genuinely don't gaff if you come or not.
Right. Said, oh, you know, you could come, but like, I'll be okay if you don't.
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Right. And this man is doing the most to be with this woman. And we'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it. So where our book opens, Xavier is a vet.
He owns his own clinic. That's important.
Yeah, he owns his own clinic, and
That's craziness.
I know, small business owner, and he's in Minnesota also. Where the book opens, there's...
I want to be there. When they were talking about, sorry to interrupt, but there's just this one quote that's like, I know we're not going to bring it up later, so I want to bring it up now. She is like, I don't know why the fuck I live in Minnesota, where a place where you have to have grit to get through the winter. I'm not a person with grit.
No.
It's like, me.
I do not have the grit for that.
I'm not a person with grit, frankly. I'm not doing that.
She said, I like California. The temperature is always the same there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck no.
That's hilarious.
It
was funny.
It was funny. Yeah, so we open the book, and basically he is in the clinic and he's talking to a pet owner, and she's like, you gotta put my dog down. And he's like, fucking why? She's like, well, this is my mother's dog and she just passed away, and so
I don't want to deal with this thing.
Get rid of it. And he was like, what the fuck? So he's like, okay, he charges her more for sexiness. One point for Xavier. He charges her more for the service, and then he saves the dog. And he's like, he takes her to the back and he's like, give that bitch a new haircut and keep her off the grid. And then he adopts her. You're hot. He's also like very grumpy, as you know. Always, like, when do we not meet a male character who's not grumpy?
I don't like it when men are grumpy. It's so pathetic when they're grumpy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are you upset about?
What is there to be upset about?
You're a man.
Yeah.
You're a white man.
Well, also, like, women, I feel like they get upset and they kind of, like, it's always justified when a woman's upset.
Yeah.
Men just throw tantrums.
Right, so he would walk in the room with an attitude and I'd be like, why are you upset? You're upset and we haven't even spoken yet. Also, I feel like the grumpy thing is just like so played out at this point. Like everyone has a grumpy main character.
I will say it's even worse when the girl is grumpy though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because when the girl is grumpy, she's just mean as fuck.
Icebreaker. Icebreaker, trigger warning. I was about to say though, Hannah Grace, I feel like her books never have a grumpy male character. Her male characters are always like,
because Hannah Grace is an amazing woman. And I love her.
Me too.
Hannah Grace, she proved us wrong. She buried us in the ground with wildfire, what the fuck ever it's called.
Yeah, she said, shut the fuck up. And I was like, I'm sad. I'm silent. I'm shutting up. But that's not to say that like I didn't enjoy him, because he was grumpy for like 3 seconds and then he like was like, but I love her. So, but anyway, he comes in and he's like, oh my God, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen is sitting here with a kitten in her titty.
I will say, I was kind of like, girl, somebody who works at a vet clinic, that's so inappropriate, and anytime you're doing that, I mean, lucky it worked for her, I guess, but I guarantee you the texts in the back are like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah,
why is her cat in her boob and not on a carrier? I promise you that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, girl, why
so I was little like, we're doing too much to make her seem quirky, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's nitpicky.
Yeah. And basically she's like, okay, I just found this rescue cat. Like, I just want to make sure she's okay. And he's like, the cat doesn't have a butthole. So I recommend you put her down.
It's a very quick conversation.
Yeah.
When I was reading this, I was like, I don't know how he's going to come back from this. I mean, he does, obviously. But, but I was like, I don't know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, the surgery and everything,
He's gonna run you up like 10 grand, probably. Yeah,
and she's like, oh, I don't fucking have that. And he's like, well...
Who does?
Right, so I do recommend you put her down because she's gonna have a bad quality of life probably anyways, even if you do all the things. And she's like, fuck no, what if I fundraise or something? And he's like, girl, you're not gonna fundraise 10K. And she's like, you bet your ass I will. And does. She walks out of there and we switch to her POV. Of course, this is dual POV.
And she's like, I named my cat Pooter, by the way, which I found hilarious.
So funny.
I, unfortunately, anytime Poot is gonna be said, it's gonna make me laugh because I loved the Poot Lovato meme. Poot Lovato is
that just instantly made you laugh. The Poot Lovato will literally go down in history as one of the funniest things that's ever happened.
Poor Demi, they seem like a really nice person. Poor Demi, they've been through so much, but Poot Lovato was hilarious.
So funny. I know, I read the word pooter and I was like, oh God. But she basically made like a TikTok of her and Pooter. And she's like, please help me save my cat. She needs a surgery, whatever. She starts fundraising up the ass. She's on the phone with her sister while she's talking about this. Her sister's name is Geneva? Yeah. And we basically get a little bit of insight into, you know, her family life. We find out that her mom has dementia and that she's going to be going home in a couple weeks to see her mom. And while she's doing all this, she's like, I want to get all this done before I move so that like so that Pooter can fly on the plane, you know?
Reading the words health certificate on a page in my own home while I was trying to enjoy a bubble bath, the fear of God was struck in me.
I know.
If you've ever had to get a health certificate for a pet, or if you work at a vet clinic that does them, or doesn't do them, I'm sure that just gave you nightmares.
Yeah.
The certificates are a nightmare.
I can imagine. Oh, I can imagine. I mean, you've told me. They sound like nightmares.
Yeah.
So she starts fundraising the money. Now, she's like, my shit is going up the ass because my TikTok's going viral.
Why can't that happen to us?
I know. I was like, the way TikToks go viral twice in this book.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Hello?
And I can't even break 1,000 views.
Like, hello? Also, we've talked about this before, but mentioning like TikTok and stuff like that in your books definitely like puts a...
Especially because TikTok's getting banned. It's getting banned in like 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think just using the word TikTok in general, like just be like, oh, my thing's going viral, you know?
I just don't think things should go viral in books. I'm tired of hearing nobody knows what going viral means, and it's like you actually can't go viral anymore. Like it's very hard to find like a meme that like everybody has heard of at this point, because TikTok is just so like it's
oversaturated,
really, and it's so doom scrolly, like you can scroll forever and ever and ever and ever. Like it took me, do you even know who Ash Trevino is?
No.
Like, and that's crazy that you don't know who that is. Like because she was all over my TikTok.
Yeah.
Like
no. Yeah, it's some like things going viral, not once but twice.
Yeah. It's like those, even if you get 1 million views, it's like there's still so many people in that app that haven't seen it, which is crazy.
Yeah. And again, it's just like it really puts like a time stamp on your book. So like, you know, 20 years down the line and people are gonna be like, what the fuck?
Well, also going viral is just so cringe in my opinion.
You know. But regardless,
make this video go viral.
Regardless, she's getting like a ton of people fundraising, and then she gets a $500 donation from someone, and she's like, what the fuck? That's a lot of money. And it's from Hottie McHotterson vet guy, and he's like, you proved me wrong. Wait.
And she's like, that's so sexy that he can admit that he's wrong, which is so true.
So true, so true. So a few weeks later, she shows back up at the clinic, and she's like, hey, I'm here with my cat post-surgery. Do a wellness check. And he's like, my God. First of all, he's like, oh, I love her. She's so hot. And he does the check and he's like, okay, everything looks good. I'll help you get your certificate.
I will say something that was fun was she was like, yeah, and you were double wrong because the surgeon only charged me $2,000 because she did have a butthole. It was just tiny.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
She was chewing him a little bit. She was putting him in his place and he liked it. You know what I mean? Which is...
I've never put a man in his place ever. I
have, but it's like, did they like it? I don't know.
There's one man in particular that I would like to put in his place, and by the place I mean the ground.
Yeah. But after they have this like, you know, conversation, he does his quick like check to be like, yeah, she can fly, she's good. He's like, they're literally staring at each other in silence for all of 3 seconds, and then she's like, so, and he's like, yeah, do you want to go out with me? She's like,
that's crazy.
I know. I was like,
if I found out that one of my doctors asked out a client like right in the exam room, I mean, I guess he owns the practice, he can do whatever the fuck he wants, but
yeah,
I would be like, yeah, fire that man. That's whack.
Yeah.
Like, that's so unprofessional. And she says, I mean, of course she says yes, because he's hot.
Right.
And like, he's a doctor.
I mean, it was really giving, like, they both knew why she was there, and they were literally doing a standoff. Like, they were staring at each other in silence, and she goes, so are you gonna? And he's like, yeah, you're right. We're gonna go out, right? And she's like, yeah. Okay, pick me up later. What the fuck?
Again, when will this happen to me?
When will this happen to me? I have to go find, like, you know, a small business owner at that clinic.
You're not gonna find him.
I know.
I'm gonna promise you that right now.
Yeah. So he pulls up to her house in his like big boots car, and he picks her up and he brings her like a cactus for
a succulent.
A succulent, yeah. He's like, I know you're traveling tomorrow, so I wanted to get you something that wouldn't like die while you're gone. And she's like, that's so cute. And they get in the car and she's like, where are we going? And he's basically says he's taking her on like a pet adoption fundraiser cruise, or like in a lake. Whatever lake is closest to them, I don't know. And they get there, which first of all is a really cute thing to take her to on a date.
Yeah.
Such a cute idea for a first date. So unique. So like not going to a movie and dinner.
Yeah, but I will say she drops her phone into the lake and he literally strips down and jumps into the lake to get it for her. And not even God can convince me to get in lake water in the middle of Michigan. Even for my, I mean, I guess I would get in there for my phone. But definitely not someone else's.
Not someone else's, but he's just like giving spirit.
The horse?
No, he is a giving.
Oh.
He's a giving spirit. Yeah. Sorry, he has a giving spirit. Yeah, he took his shirt off and jumped in, and obviously she's like, well, he's built like a Greek god.
And all the ladies on the boat are like catcalling and like wolf whistling.
Yeah, they're all like, ooh.
I mean, to be fair, because it was a little unprofessional. Like, you're there for this rescue, and then you look down and suddenly there's a shirtless doctor down there.
If I'm the ladies, we're off work here.
If I'm the ladies, I'm just going home after that.
Oh.
I'm like, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm leaving now.
I would have stayed. Why should I not let myself have the opportunity to look at his Greek god body?
Because he's there with a girl.
Okay, I'm just looking.
I'm gonna go home and sit in my bed and be sad and turn all the lights off.
And she's like, my mom has dementia, and like, if anything happens, my sister has to be able to reach me.
Well, yeah, and also to be fair, like she works remote, so like her whole life is on that thing.
Yeah. And so he's like, not a problem. He's like sopping wet. And he doesn't even care. They get on the boat, and such a cute cruise, it's such a cute idea. It's like they're having like all these like appetizers, and like it's a beautiful day, and they're sitting at the rooftop of the like boat, and people are walking around with dogs, and it's so cute. And she's like, "Were you gonna come here anyway?" And he was like, "Assuredly," but I told my friend that I was gonna bring to like give me the fuck his ticket, because I'm bringing this hot girl, which was cute too. And
I was thinking about that on the car ride over. I was like, when a woman puts her friends before her man, it's like, she's so smart. But when a man puts his friends over his girlfriend, it's like, is your friend gonna suck your dick?
Right.
This is how you should act. Your girlfriend is more important than your friends.
Yeah, I mean, not even his girlfriend, and he was like, give me that fucking ticket.
True.
Give me that fucking ticket. I want to take her on a really nice date.
Yeah.
But they have like a really nice, they have like good banter, and they're chit-chatting, and once they get to like the end of the date, kind of, he texts his friends and he's like, what do? I don't want to stop hanging out with her. Give me ideas. And they're like, you should come to this like mini putt-putt place that's near, it's really fun, it's open really late, you should take her. He's like, okay. They get off the boat, they go to his apartment so he can like take a quick shower, because he stank of lake water still. And when he's there, he's like, oh, it's probably gonna be cold there, let me grab her a hoodie. And he just like gives her a hoodie without her even asking or anything. She's not even like, oh, I'm cold. He just gives it to her. He's like, oh, it's probably gonna get cold there. Stop being thoughtful.
Well, see, that was hot, but this does, back to our conversation in the hallway, sometimes men would want you to wear their clothes so bad. Now we're getting completely off topic. But my ex-boyfriend, he used to give me his shirts, and he would be like, isn't this shirt cute? And I would be like, no, because I hated him. And he would be like, isn't this shirt cute? And I would be like, no. And he'd be like, well, I don't want it anymore, so you can just have it. It's just for you. And then it would just sit in my closet and rot.
Yeah, I don't want that, girl.
Men be doing that sometimes. They're like, do you want to wear this? No. I want to wear my own clothes.
Yeah, the thing is,
it was sexy when he did it, though.
Oh, it was hot when he did it, because he was being thoughtful. He wasn't giving it to her like, you want to
I don't want this anymore.
Yeah, he was being like, oh, it's probably gonna get, and he didn't even say it out loud. He said it in his inner monologue. He's like, it's probably gonna get cold there. Let me grab her a hoodie. And it, like, from his POV, she's just like too stunned to speak, because she's like, not he's being so thoughtful. What the fuck? So cute. So they get to the mini putt-putt place, and all his fucking friends are there. And he's like, what the fuck?
If it were me, I would turn my ass back around, I would leave. If I were him. If I were her, I would be a good sport about it, but I would be like, ooh.
I'd be like, why the fuck are all your friends here?
Yeah. Well, and also, there's a group of friends, and then there's one girlfriend. Yeah. Pick me ass bitch. You should have said, y'all, we're not going to go interrupt the date.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to be a party pooper. I don't care if you embarrass him. He's a man. Yeah. I don't care about him.
It's her. Don't put her in that position. Yeah. That's so anxiety-inducing to walk up.
She's already nervous. She's on a first date, and now she feels like she has to impress the friends, too. Don't do that.
And it's not just like one friend. It's like a group of 4 guys and like a long-term girlfriend. No. That's really scary.
Becca, you should have stood up for our girl.
But she's a really, really good sport about it. And he's like, we can leave. Like, we can leave.
And she's like, frankly, we should.
Yeah. And she's like, no, like, it's fine. Like, we can hang, whatever. And he's like, you know what? This actually feels so, like, comfortable. Usually I feel so anxious whenever I bring someone around my friends. And this just feels, like, completely, like, I feel at ease right now. And they spend the whole night hanging out with him and his friends and like doing all the games at this place. It's like an arcade / like mini golf / everything. And eventually the friends are like, we're going home now. It's like 1 a.m. And they're like, but we're not done hanging out.
Playing putt-putt until 1 a.m.
I know. Oh my God. You're having the best day of your fucking life. They've been hanging out for hours now. And so,
sorry to bring up my ex yet again, but the way he forced me to be on that date for hours, I wanted to leave so bad.
Oh.
Has that ever happened to you?
No.
Oh. Well, it's happened to me.
I just haven't gone on.
He was like, I'll walk you. He was like, I'll walk you to your car, and then got into it.
Oh, I didn't invite you in. What the fuck? He got into it. It's crazy. Who asked you to walk into my car?
That actually kind of is me in my current situationship.
Bye.
I'll just come to your game. I don't want you to. I'm already here.
I'm on the field. Sorry. But after a while,
work at a snack bar.
Yeah. After a while, they're like, you want to do the, what is it? What's it called? Oh, they want to do the escape room. And the place is like going to close in like an hour.
And the kid working at the escape room is like, I don't know, I can't open it for you. I don't care. And they're like, can you get the person who does? And he comes back, he's like, God.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. He's like,
Go in the
15.
station escape room.
Yeah, the UFO escape room. He's like, get the fuck in there and whatever. They get in there, they do the escape room, they have a fun time, they manage to escape before the timer runs out, and then they're like, fuck yeah, this is amazing. And they start like, you know, they're having like a little moment, they're about to kiss. Come On Eileen is playing in the background. And then they're like, how come nobody has let us out of here yet? Is anyone gonna let us out of here? Hello? So they end up spending like the next fucking 5 hours in this escape room because they're locked inside.
I'd be vomiting.
I would be free. The entire time I was reading this, I was like, I would have had to pee immediately. They've also been drinking all night.
Yeah.
I would have had to pee, and it would have been awful that I would have been like, can you turn around? I have to pee.
Yeah, no, like locked in any place ever.
I would have had to pee.
Scary.
That's terrifying to me. What do I do?
I'm
I'm gonna pee my pants?
An hour. I wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm gonna go into it. I'm gonna go do an escape room. No, I have to pee.
No, like I cannot believe that. So they're like stuck in this room. Come On Eileen has been playing for hours, hours on loop. And they're just like literally laying on the floor like prisoners. Like at their wit's end. And while they're sitting there, they obviously are like chit-chatting and talking about, you know, life and their families and getting to know each other more. And they're both just like, this is like the best date I've ever been on. Like this person is like meant for me. Like I've never had a date like this.
To imagine this was what my ex was thinking in the car that day. And meanwhile, I was thinking, I cannot wait to go home.
That's upsetting for him.
I'm sure he has a new girlfriend by now.
Yeah.
I'm more than sure of it. So
yeah.
it's fine.
And no, it's fine. But yeah, I could not have someone thinking that about me. I'm sitting here like, I'm having an amazing time. And they're like, I can't wait to get rid of you.
To be fair, I feel like if he had looked at my face for more than 3 seconds, I guarantee it looks like this. You know that face that I make?
Yeah. Yeah. You know that face I make? Anyway, they walk out of there and she's like, they were supposed to go back to her apartment and like, you know, have their nighttime portion. Now it's too late. It's 5 in the morning and she has to
I would have been like, well, he also breaks one of the cameras. I thought they were gonna fuck in there.
Me too.
And I would have been like, well, honestly, just lay down.
Yeah, frankly, like, when he broke the camera and also broke the speaker because he was like, enough. I was like, fair enough. Y'all should, like, you should at least kiss now.
I would try really hard to he would see me throwing a tantrum at that door.
Yeah.
The way I'd be beating it up trying to get it open. And it would not open, for sure.
Yeah. But they go back to her apartment and she's like, we don't have any time to, like, hang out anymore. Like, I have to go to the airport. My flight's at 7 and it's 5 in the morning. He's like, I'll drive you, not a problem. They go back to her apartment, they get there and she's like, let me take a quick shower and then we can go. He walks in her apartment and he's like, bitch, where is your stuff?
Where's all your furniture? You're sleeping on an air mattress.
What the fuck? And she's like rushing around, putting things in bags, and he's like, bitch, pause. What is this? And she's like, oh.
When I said I was going on a trip,
I meant I'm moving.
Which pissed me off so bad.
So bad.
And she was like, I don't know why. I should have just said no. I don't even know why I didn't say no. Frankly, yeah, I agree with you. That's mean as hell. If somebody did this to me, I would be heartbroken.
Heartbroken,
That's so fucking mean. That's literally like, I don't care if I hurt you. That's what that says to me.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get that she was like, you know, I just thought it was going to be like a first date, whatever. But, like, at the end of the day, a first date's a first date. If it goes well, you're going to end up hurting that person.
Yeah, exactly.
I.e., she does. Because she's like, well, you need to forget me. And he's like, how can I forget you? We just had the fucking best night of our lives. Like, we're not, like, you're it for me. And she's like, I have to leave. I have to go. I'm going to move back home to help take care of my mom.
And it's like, she's not wrong for moving. I just don't know why she said yes.
No, but she just didn't have to go on a date with him
at
all. She was like, I just thought I was going to go out for a nice little meal and then come home. Turns out, no. I was like, if you were looking for that, you could have gone on Tinder.
Yeah.
Don't you also find the boots cute veterinarian that you know likes you.
Well, you also could have said after dinner,
right.
I think the date should end here.
Yeah, because I'm moving in the morning.
Also, obviously I know she didn't really consent to the friends meeting her.
Yeah.
But if I brought a man around and introduced him to you guys, and then I had to say the next day, whole time he was moving. Also, if I said that to you guys would say, that's fucked up that he went on the date. I don't like him.
Yeah, if you came the next morning and you were like, oh, by the way, he moved.
Bitch, and what? Didn't tell me about it.
Bitch, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
So she's like, yeah, forget me. And he's like, what the fuck? Drops her off at the airport and that's that. She gets to California and she kind of moves into her grandmother's house. That's where her family is now. Her mom has moved in. Her mom's name is Lisa, and both her parents moved in there. Her older sister Geneva, moved in there with her 2 boys. She's a single mom, so it's just her and the 2 boys. And then she comes. She gets like the apartment on top of the garage or something. It's like a separate house, so she moves in there. And when she gets there, it's definitely heartbreaking to see like the situation that her family's in. Her mom's dementia has progressed a ton, and her mom does not remember her at all. When she walks in, like, she's like, who is this?
Something that I will say is like you said earlier, she definitely did handle this with care, and I really appreciated that if she decided that she was going to talk about the dementia, it wasn't just like, I walked in there and once she saw me, she knew exactly who I was. You know, like, because I feel like a lot of books try to touch on these really hard topics. Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, and then they don't they want to write a happy, positive story, so they end up not really giving it the care that it deserves, and I feel like she did. She
really did. I thought that like all the parts of the book, the scenes with the mom that like included her interacting with her family, I felt like were done so well, and were like, it would take me out of the fact that we're reading like a romance book. I felt like I was reading something else at times, and I was like, it felt really heart-wrenching, and like I felt emotional reading it.
But it made the because like there's no like real like story as in like here's the goal, we achieve the goal, that's the climax, you know. But I was interested.
I was locked in. Yeah.
Which sometimes, again, I feel like these romance books, they try to do something else and it just doesn't work because it's like I just don't care that much about this. But this I did care about. And I was not enjoying reading about it, but it was
heartbreaking, but it was, I mean, that's what you want out of a book. You want to feel something, and it's not always, I want to feel horny. Like, sometimes you want to read a book and have there be something else in there that's keeping you attached. Especially when we talk about romance books and, like, the subplot of the romance. What is it? Oftentimes, first of all, the woman doesn't even have one. And she had one, and it was very important. I feel like so much of this book was about, like, the idea of memories and like spending time with the people you love and how important that is, and I just thought she did a really good job, and it was very poignant. And so we kind of get a couple chapters here of her kind of like reacclimating herself to, okay, like this is, you know, my life now. I'm, you know, having to deal with this very upsetting situation that's happening with my family.
Also, while she's reacclimating, I did enjoy Xavier. When it comes to Xavier is like obviously doing his vet job and, you know, hanging out with his friends, doing this, that, and the other thing or whatever. He's thinking about her. Cut back to her. She's not giving him
a thought. Yeah. Because, there are more important things right now for me. I'm not thinking about this man. She moved here and she said, that sucked so bad. I actually really fucking liked him. However,
I have bigger fish to fry.
I have bigger fish to fry. My mom is ill.
But he was still thinking about her.
Yeah.
Period.
I love that. I loved that, like, her main focus was
herself and her family.
Yeah, I need to take care of my mom. My focus is my mom. And I loved that. Her thought was never like, my mom, but I miss my man. You know what I mean? Like, it was always, he's there, but this is most important. So about 2 weeks after she moves, he calls her and she's like, hi. And he's like, hey.
These are, he calls her and he's like, I'm gonna come visit you, girl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come visit you, girl.
Sorry.
Ain't nothing you can do about it. I'm coming to visit you. But also, this just pissed me off because I just remembered last night I received a phone call from a man that I haven't spoken to in months and there was no follow-up. He called me once, didn't text me. I don't know what he wanted, but at 10 p.m., it could not have been good.
No, it could not have been. Like, where are these men? In Minnesota? Do I need to go to Minnesota to find one?
I'm not going to Minnesota.
I don't have the grit for it.
No, it's cold. I'm not doing that.
Oh my god. He was like, I'm coming. I don't know what to tell you. So he shows up. Mind you, she puts the phone down and the whole family's behind her, like, yeah. Including Lisa.
She's like, because she comes home and she tells the story about the date. And hot doctor, I'm sold.
Yeah.
You can stop there.
Yeah.
But then he's also very thoughtful, kind, and interesting to be around.
Right. What the fuck? So everyone's like, period, girl. So she picks him up from the airport. And they immediately go on like a date to like, I guess Santa Monica Pier, I think is where they go. And they are riding the Ferris wheel and she's like terrified on there. She's like clasping him for dear life. And he's like, I've never seen the ocean before. It's so beautiful. Like,
that's crazy.
I know. And it was a really cute date, and then they end up on the beach and they're talking and she's asking about his family and like how he became a vet. And he basically tells her the story. I mean, earlier on their first date, she had asked him about it, and he was like, I had a dog named Winnie, and something happened with her, but I don't know if I can get into it right now. It's like a really upsetting story. But this is their second date now, and she asked like something about.
I will say it did bother me a little bit because she like kind of pushed him to talk about it, and I was like, I don't think that's appropriate.
Yeah,
but again,
I mean,
that's very nitpicky.
Yeah, but I mean, I think also like he set his boundary the first time, so I guess he could have set his boundary again. But also, it's like someone asks you twice, are you gonna be like fooled because you're like, okay, they really want to know? I don't know.
Well, I tell people when they don't ask anything.
If an awkward silence happens, I'm telling all of my deepest, darkest secrets. I will overshare up the ass.
I'm in the elevator being like, have you guys ever dated somebody that didn't brush their teeth?
No, like, I'm checking someone in at reception and I'm like, so one time because I cannot deal with an awkward silence.
Yeah.
But
anyway.
I
I don't expect other people to overshare with me though.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, he starts talking about how he became a vet, which is a very, very upsetting story. Trigger warning for animal abuse and parental abuse. He basically he tells her that his parents were very, very abusive to him growing up. And the reason that he became a vet was because he had a dog named Winnie, and Winnie, whenever she would have like babies,
they didn't get her spayed.
Yeah, they didn't get her spayed, and so she would have babies, and his freak ass father would drown the dogs. Which is...
And we have so many little teeny tiny puppies. They're so small and helpless. Like, they can't open their eyes. They can barely move, and they're just screaming. And it's so cute and little and tiny.
I can't imagine.
And they die naturally on their own. Like, it's very common for one or two to die in a litter. Just because.
Yeah.
They're so tiny and fragile.
Yeah.
Like, they just die.
It's really sad.
It's really sad.
It's really sad. And this was such a sad... I was like, what the fuck? And so he basically... on his own, when he was 11, took Winnie, his dog, to a vet, and he was like, please, can you help me, like, get her spayed so that this will not happen anymore. He told the vet, like, everything. He, like, laid his heart out, and the vet was like, of course I will do this for you, oh my god. And he was like, I looked at that guy like a hero, like, he really, that like, genuinely did something so important to my spirit, my soul, and that's why I want to be that person kind of for someone else.
I will say, so he spays her and gives her all her vaccines. That's probably like at least $1,500 visit, depending on what the animal is.
Yeah.
Girl, I mean, I don't know. I guess anything can happen, but
I mean, I'm assuming that, the kid's 12. He can't pay for anything. He showed up by himself with the dog. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming that the doctor was like, I'll pay for it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think he did it for free. I think he was like, I'll pay for this to happen, because, like, the kid's 12. He can't be like, well, listen, kid. I can't do it.
Oh, you think they can't?
Oh, I think they can.
Hold on. The doctor doesn't.
I do, yeah.
Yep.
He says, go tell that kid that he has to get the fucking lost.
Yeah.
No, but...
yeah, dead ass. Go to him and ask him if he's applied for care credit or scratch pay. Fuck you.
And the 11-year-old's like, what?
Do you have that too?
No, but yeah, whenever something difficult has to be said to a client or to a patient, they always are like, you do it. And I'm like, mind you, like, the patient will be sitting right here and the doctor will come to me here and be like, can you tell them that, and I'm like, you could just do it. Like, the way you literally went out of your way to...
Well, because now they know something is coming.
Right. It's like, you could have just walked right there and said it yourself. And they also would have been so chill about it because you're a doctor. Mm-hmm. They hate me. Mm-hmm. Anyway. Yeah, I assumed that he was just, like, out of the kindness of his heart, he's a good person, and he was like, I'll pay for this because this kid's being abused. That makes more sense
than what I thought.
Yeah, this kid's being abused at home, and so is the dog.
Got it.
And so they kind of just talk about this situation, and she gets to know a lot more about him through this, and why, she's like, you're a very natural caregiver, you're so thoughtful, and that makes a lot of sense, like, about how you behave now. So sweet. And then they start making out on the beach, which is fair enough. I would too.
Especially if it's Avon Drogia, but he's getting married to Halsey now.
Yes!
I love seeing women win. She got away from G-Eazy and she got Avon Drogia. Yeah!
We love you. Yeah, they go back to her apartment and they're like about to get it on. And they get
air mattress
on her air mattress. Yeah, it's like popping, but they're still about to get it on. And then she hears like screaming from the backyard, and she's like, "Wait, what the fuck is that noise?" They go out there and find her mom, in the backyard. And
to be fair, he's also horny as boots. He's like, it's nothing, it's nothing, it's nothing. And she's like, no.
She's like, shut up for a second. And then it is something. It's her mom, and she's somehow...
I would have folded, by the way.
She somehow got out of the house and is in the backyard and is just like...
Was she like literally suspended from a tree? Because that's what I thought.
No, there was a piñata in the backyard, and I think she got tangled in it. Like, I don't think she was suspended, but like she was caught in the... Because it's like hanging from a rope.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So
like it was like low enough for her to get tangled.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So she's like kind of having like, she's freaking out obviously because she doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
So they both run back out there to help her, and she kind of like, her mom like kind of like lashes at her and like pulls her earring out of her ear and hits her in the face, and all by accident obviously. But he is able to like
bear hug her
and calm her down and get her back in the house, and they're like, we need to give her some medicine, I don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, we can just put it in a shot and like we'll just all take it together, and like that way she can just get it down, she won't even know. And she's just looking at him like, oh my god.
Well, also when I read that I was like, no way. But it worked.
That
would not work on me. I'm gonna tell you right now, that would not work on me. You put it in a White Claw, that would work.
You're done.
In a shot? No.
Yeah, it's very sweet the way he's
also cute
like,
because she goes huzzah after.
I know.
And then she's like, she doesn't even know what she's cheersing to.
I know.
That girl.
It's like just the motion of it, just like the motion of it came back to her and her like memories. And so it just like it happened. Just the fact that he was able to like put all that together is just so attractive. Again, this is a man who is competent, who's good at his job, who's thoughtful, who really cares. And mind you, like the moment he saw that it was her mom out there, he was like, oh, like we need to lock into helping her mom. Like he was not sitting here like, can we go back to your apartment now?
Yeah.
Which is what most men would do.
Oh, yeah.
He was really locked into being like,
and
okay,
then they get up to your room, and you know what else they would do? They would be like, the vibe's kind of killed now.
Oh my god.
You know?
Yeah, they would, 100%. But he's not like that
I know
at all.
you've had that experience.
Oh.
I know you personally have had that experience.
Oh.
Sorry. But
Oh.
I know something like this has happened to you.
Yeah, it has.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not like that at all. But then she immediately turns to her brother and she's like, you left the door unlocked.
Shit pissed me off so bad. Doesn't it make more sense that you and your horny ass, when you were walking in the house, I guess maybe they don't have to go through her bedroom, I guess, through the house to get to her apartment, but I was like, frankly, I don't know how you're not blaming yourself and your horny ass. It ends up being the dad. The dad had to run out to the pharmacy at 2 o'clock in the morning to get some kind of ear med.
All of them were like,
But
okay.
she ran downstairs and she's like, you're so fucking selfish. You left the door open. And he tries to defend himself. She doesn't let him. And then she also accuses him of popping a hole in her air mattress. And he's like, okay, first of all, I didn't leave the door unlocked. Second of all, I actually saw the hole when I came in earlier and I duct taped it for you. It's not my fucking fault. You were trying to get it on so hard you popped it.
Yeah. Ooh. He chewed her down. He chewed her
And she deserved it.
Yeah, she did.
She did not need to blame the brother.
Why are you coming at me about this? I was literally like, I was watching I was watching Treasure Island, okay? Survivor deep cut. He was literally like, I didn't do shit.
Have you guys heard the rumors that Amanda might be on season 50? Please.
Wait, what? We have to sidebar about this later.
There's been rumors. She's been asked to return, so I don't know if she's gonna come back or not. I wouldn't blame her if she didn't want to.
Yeah, but
you know who I don't want to come back? Russell.
Him and his fucking fedora. Please, giving Perry the platypus.
He's giving like when Demi Lovato and Alex Russo would wear like a vest.
Vest, fedora.
Yeah. A tie that's like loosely tied.
Yeah. Ooh. But yeah, after that they kind of go back. They spend the rest of the weekend together. He's only there for a couple days. They go to the zoo. They take her nephews to the zoo, and obviously the nephews like fall in love with him. They're like, he's awesome, and
I don't even want kids, but when a man is good with kids, it's like period. Because men are
like,
so incompetent most of the time.
Yeah. And when you see a man like who's good with kids, and the kids are like in love, they like idolize him. They're like, oh my god, he's good with animals, and he's so like amazing. It's just so, it's so sweet to see. And then they go to dinner. They just have an amazing weekend together. And then that last night, they're in her room. Oh no, they go to that fuck ass motel that he got because her mattress is popped. And they're there, and they're basically like, so you're leaving now? And he's like, yes, but I'll be back. And she's like, no, like, I don't think you should be back. I think that you should forget me. And he's like, but remember when we tried that 2 weeks ago and I was like, I can't? I still can't. And she's like, but the thing is, this is not gonna work.
You gotta figure it out, girl.
Yeah, you live in Minnesota. I live here. Like,
with what money?
Right. Like, he's also told her, like, you know, I have a lot of loans and a lot of debt from just going to vet school, but also...
He opened his own clinic.
From opening my own clinic. Money's tight, you know, and it's tight for her too. But she's like, we just really need to
also,
not do
she
this.
can't go visit him as easy because
Yeah.
she's helping with
her
mother,
mom.
obviously.
And, you know, she's like a social media marketer for like a mustard brand. And like, okay, yeah, that makes her good money, but however, like...
She was pissing me off because she would have little blurbs of like the Instagram captions, and it would be like, DM us so you can tell your friends you got left on red by a mustard brand. Millennials, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Christ.
God.
I hate brands on social media. Like, and then like Lionsgate will comment on like a random TikTok about a girl, where a girl's crashing out saying she called her ex 37 times and then showed up to his apartment and vomited on his floor.
Right.
And then Lionsgate will be like, been there, girl. And then all the comments are like, what are you doing here, Ariana? And it's like, guys, stop. It's the same joke every time.
No, actually though, the only time I ever made me laugh was when the NFL posted like a clip of Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and then one of the comments was like, can we get an actual video of football? Here, damn.
Here, damn, sent me into high heaven. I was like, period. That was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
She's like,
But again, that's relevant to them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like brands on social media doing shit, trying to engage with random people. Like, why do brands need to have personalities?
Yeah, no, like, commenting on the random ass clip I posted of me crashing out is like, why are you doing that? Comment on stuff that's like relevant to your brand. Anyway, yeah, she basically is like, we need to not do this. Like, this is gonna be really hard for both of us because we are clearly both very, very infatuated with one another, and like, we would 100% be dating by now if I still was in Minnesota, but that's just not the case, and this is gonna be really hard. It's gonna be really hard. So he's like, okay, that's what you want. After that, Xavier's boots miserable, okay? He is literally going through every fucking scenario he possibly could to give up his practice and like up and go to California.
He's doing the math. He's got the whiteboard with the string.
He's doing a Style Stilinski, and he's like, how can I get rid of this fucking vet clinic?
So I can move and be a doctor somewhere else.
Yeah, which is like, he clearly, like, he spent his whole life trying to open this clinic, and he is ready to give it all up to be with her. Like, he wants to go, but he's like, I actually just fucking can't. It just doesn't make any sense.
I get calls at 10 p.m. from men I haven't spoken to in months. I thought he was blocked. I'm surprised that he wasn't. And then no follow-up text, no nothing.
Girl,
and then at 3 a.m., you can come over.
Girl, I be getting, when I tell you, like, I haven't talked to a specific man for like maybe 2 months, and then he'll get in my phone and be like, he'll send me a picture of himself, this is a real picture of himself tucked in bed, and was like, really want to fuck you right now. Girl, can you not piss me off so badly? I was like,
get out of here, girl.
And then proceeded to be like, I'm fucking someone who looks just like you. Are you out of your
What?
mind? Yes. Yes. I said, good, okay.
Keep it to yourself, queen.
Oh, he didn't. He told me all about it. I said, unwarranted. I said, oh, okay, cool. Where's my man who's gonna be giving up his vet practice for me? Instead, this man is in my phone being like, I'm fucking bitches who look like you all over the place. Girl.
That would kind of work on me. I'm not even gonna start. Considering your situation, it's not like you're gonna be over there anytime soon. So
No.
it would kind of work on me a little bit.
We need a sidebar about this later.
Okay.
But after that, now going back to her perspective, she's also like, I think about him all the time. I really miss him, but I have bigger fish to fry. And they have breakfast one morning, and she also recommended that like they help do her mom's hair and her makeup to help her feel more like herself and who she was before her dementia kind of took hold.
Cute.
I thought it was really sweet. And they bring her down for breakfast one morning, and the dad is not there. He had gone to the gym, and he's usually the one who brings her down, and so that kind of like disrupted her routine. And she kept being like, hey, where is he? And after a while, she kind of like really she had an episode basically, to the point where like they had to call 911.
She's like swiping stuff off the counter. She's like, trying to assault her daughters.
Yeah, and they're trying to do the bear hug, and it's just not working, and so they have to call 911. And this whole scene really broke my heart. It was really sad to read. I can't imagine how difficult that is. And when they get back to the house, the dad gets there and she's like, it's really hard to see how much this is affecting him as well, because this dementia has him prisoner too.
Yeah, he works so hard to keep her safe and to, you know, keep her healthy and happy, and this is what he gets for all that. Yeah. He can't even go to the gym for 2 hours.
Yeah. It's really sad. And in that moment, they're all just like, what if we fucking start remodeling the house? Just cause.
Let's just demolish the counter. I was confused. I was like, I don't know what we're talking about, but okay.
Yeah, Grandma's like, I guess this house is gonna pass down to y'all, so if you want to remodel it to have something to do, why not? I think it's just they wanted something else to do with the family that's not just focused
to
on
be fair,
mom.
she's like, I can't wait to get this dishwasher out of here and have one that's not from 1972. And I was like, that's fair, because I feel like dishwashers just suck. Like ours kind of sucks balls.
Yeah,
and cock.
Oh. Both? It's a good distraction for them to have something else to focus on besides just Lisa and her illness, like something else to do in the house together as a family. Now 2 weeks after this, so it's now been 2 months since Xavier came to visit, he calls again out of nowhere, and she's like, what the fuck? She's at the Home Depot with her brother, and she's like, why the fuck is he calling me? And he's like, if you don't answer that phone. So she picks up and she's like, hey. And he's like, I'm gonna be in town for a vet conference. Do you want to get dinner? And she's like, okay.
I don't know. To be fair, he's like, we're just going as friends. She knew she wanted him bad, because you're never going. The only way I feel like you can be friends with an ex is if you were friends first, dated, and it ended amicably, and then you're friends after.
Ended amicably is the important part. Yeah.
The thing is like, you're not going on it. You're not going to be friends with somebody you went on 2 dates with, because it's like, there's still the will they won't they of it all.
Yeah, they haven't even done anything past just kissed and made out. Like, there's still the will they won't they.
Girl, come on now.
Yeah.
Well, and as she's getting ready for the date, she's like, I don't even know why. I shouldn't even be getting ready for this like it's a date. I'm acting like this is a date. I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't, but you are. And I get it. I don't hold it against you at all. I also would be in here like, let me shave my legs. She's like, I'm getting ready to
She's like, it's like when you shave your pussy bald just for
One Direction concert.
Yes.
Yeah. Me shaving my pussy bald for the One Direction concert. Yeah. Yes. Of course. And yeah, her brother's like, he's not here for a fucking conference. Don't lie. Mind you, she's like, when do you want to go? He said, today. I'm already here. She's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, I'm at the motel. She's like, the motel? Isn't your conference 2 hours away? He's like, yeah, but I know this motel. It's a deal, and I know this motel, so just thought, why not? She's like, the fuck? Her brother's like, can you stop being stupid? There's no conference. It's not going to shit.
And frankly, she didn't gaff.
Yeah, she was like,
did not gaff.
No, she's like, what?
She was like, there's definitely a conference, but she did not gaff if there was or not.
Yeah. So they go on a dinner date to this really nice place. And whole time she's like, this is not a date. This is not a date. He's like, okay.
He's like, sure, girl.
Okay, yeah, for sure. She's like, it's not a date, right? And he's like, yeah, girl, for sure. They have obviously a wonderful time together. They end up back at her apartment. He takes her back home, and they're standing outside the door, and literally he is just holding her, and in his POV he's like, this is my wife. Are you kidding? He is literally just hugging her from behind.
I need to kill your ex.
Smelling her hair, and he's just like, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know what it is. This is the one. She's my wife. I don't know how else to describe it.
I need to kill your ex with a gun. That's the only way I'm gonna feel better.
No, this was a moment where I had to close the book and put it down. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, this is hurting. Coming off the cusp of what I just talked about.
Well, especially because he has it in his own inner monologue. Yeah. He's not saying it out loud. I feel like that makes it even more real, because like I've said before, I had an ex-boyfriend that said I love you after 3 weeks, and it was like, well, now I feel like the whole relationship is kind of tarnished because I don't really trust what you say anymore, because it's clearly
what do you mean?
Clearly you just say stuff. Yeah. So the fact that he was just thinking it in his head and didn't even say anything to her, I was like,
it was so good. It was so good. It was I literally was doing a swoon. People say swoon, I was swooning. Oh my god.
Upsetting.
It's so upsetting. Oh my god. And so they, at this point, they're like, okay, yeah, the thing is, there's no conference, is there? And he's like, nah.
And then they go in and they have sex, and she's like, I can't believe you lied about that conference.
He's like, yeah, okay. No damn conference in sight. I just wanted to come here, girl. Like, I needed to be in a room with you.
But what's funny about it is there was a conference.
There was.
So, like, if she were to have Googled it, it would have popped up.
She did.
So he had his story straight.
She Googled it at Home Depot, and she was like, see, conference. And her brother's like, girl, he just did his research. He just was laying the groundwork. He just wanted to come here, and he did. He literally did. And he was like, girl, I'm sorry, I just needed to be in a room with you.
And I can't even get my current situationship to let me just come over and sleep in his bed.
He said, I wanted to just be in a room with you. I couldn't do it anymore. Please. Please. Oh my God. So, yeah, after this, they're both like, yeah, let's stop kidding ourselves. Like, we have to be together. Like,
we'll figure it out.
We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be hard, but we're gonna figure it out. And he gets back to work like a week later, and he's trying to figure out what the fuck to do to make it work, because he's like, obviously not, it's expensive to fly every couple days or every couple weeks, and you know, with all the things I have to pay for, money tight. And Tina and Tammy, his fucking
Tina and Maggie,
whatever.
Tina and the other one.
Tina and the other one.
Were you picturing me?
I was picturing Brenda Song and you. I don't know why Brenda Song, but actually I do know why.
Casting.
I know. I'm rewatching Scandal right now, and she plays
Your name Tina?
No, she plays the attorney general or something's like assistant in that, very randomly in like the first 2 seasons. I think that's why she was in my head.
Oh.
And also I love Brenda Song.
I do too.
Yeah. So yeah, I was picturing them too. And they're both like, hey girl, like, so we heard from a friend that
I
you
was
were
picturing me as well, by the way.
Yeah. You just
For both of
twins.
them.
Yeah. They were like, we heard that you were not at the conference. Where the fuck were you? And he's like, first of all, y'all in my business. But I was visiting a friend.
And let me tell you, this is exactly how it feels like to be a vet tech, I guarantee you. Sometimes I'll be like just like hanging out in the back, and I'll like be hearing the deepest, darkest conversations between the vet tech and the doctor, and I'm like, actually I'm gonna walk away.
Sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes in the break room at the doctor's office, things are said.
Yeah.
I don't know, like things are just said.
It's like this weird closeness that happens between...
No, I go in for my one-on-one with my manager, and then I come out 2 hours later because we talked for 10 minutes about me, and then we went into like an hour and a half conversation about like our lives.
The guy from Love Island, DC.
Yeah.
Love is Blind, DC.
Exactly. We just talk. But anyway, they're like, okay, so you're with her. That's amazing. We love that for you. And he's like, yeah, that's my girl. And they're like, are you sure that's your girl though? Because like maybe she's like just, you know, keeping it cash. And he's like, He gets up, calls her, and he's like, so are we exclusive? And she's like, the fuck? Is this how you're asking me to be your girlfriend? And he's like, mm-hmm. And she's like, okay.
And he's like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye. And then he walks back in, and he's like, yeah, that's my girlfriend. Everything he does is working on me tenfold. I was like, this is, yeah, period. And Tina and Maggie are like, boots excited for him, because they're like, you're always so grumpy, and now you're like happy all the time, and we love that for you. We want you to be happy, King. Now a few weeks later, Lisa...
Oh, but we forgot to mention, by the way, since it is so expensive, girl, he had to give up all of his rescuing work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he didn't have to give it up. He chose to give it up.
Yeah.
Because he's like, if I don't do that and I do something where I actually get paid, I can pick up overnights at the ER clinic on set. Girl, that is bonkers bananas.
Yeah.
You're working normal day shifts, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, you're working overnight?
Overnight at the ER clinic, getting... Dude, he was doing everything. He was like taking on 3 jobs just so he could pay to go see his girlfriend for a weekend.
And I hate to bring it up again, but all I'm getting is no response when I beg to come over.
Right, so...
I'm too busy to even have you come over.
We live in the same city, mind you. Same neighborhood.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
From each other.
Right, and these two are 2,000 miles apart.
And I know they're not real, and I know this kind of man genuinely doesn't exist in the real world. But it's kind of giving when you got really, I'm sorry to bring this up, but when you got really upset when we were watching The Summer I Turned Pretty and they had that really nice date where they fucked in front of the fireplace and you got really upset and I was trying to comfort you by being like, it's not real. No man does this. I was like, it doesn't matter because no man does this and that's upsetting.
It's upsetting, which is what made it upsetting. I was like, that scene put me down. I actually cannot hear the song Invisible String. Sometimes I'm like feeling a twitch in my eye. Like, seriously.
I should genuinely be scared of me. I'm gonna start walking around with a tripod to hit him with.
It's not funny, is it? It's serious. But yeah, a couple weeks later, there's another scene of Lisa She had an accident on the couch and they have to take the couch outside. And I wanted to mention this because there's a part where they're like, Lisa had misplaced all of like the family jewelry basically. And while they're taking the couch outside, they find her wedding ring that falls out of the couch. And she gives it back to her dad after the fact. And you can just kind of tell like how, I don't know, there's a scene of him like staring at the wedding ring and you can just see how like heartbreaking it is for him to be holding it and just like reliving all of that. I don't know. It was very heavy and sad and yeah. Really made me think for a lot. Like these scenes really took me out of like the romance of it all and made me think about something other than like, oh, the man, you know, and which I really liked about this book.
And I actually cared about what happened to them.
Yeah.
Because again, sometimes romance books, they try to have a B plot and it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
And I just don't care.
Yeah.
I really cared.
I really cared about what was happening with like her family. Now she gets a call from her work and they're like, hey, we need you to come back to Minnesota for a conference. And she's like, amazing. That means they're gonna pay for me to go visit my man. Yes! So she gets on a flight and she doesn't tell him. She goes to surprise him. And when she goes to, first of all, she lands there and she's like, wait, we're so far apart. I'm just realizing, girl, don't piss me off. She calls her brother and her brother's like, if you don't calm down.
And her brother's like, don't piss me off.
Literally. And she's like, you're right. She gets there and he sees her through the glass at the vet clinic and the way he lights up.
And he abandons his appointment to go hug her. I was like, first of all, ain't no chance in hell any doctor's ever doing that. I'm really sorry, but no, they're just not doing that. But
for the sake of the book, it was so cute. It was so cute. He was so excited to see her. And then after his appointment, he's like taking her through like the back and he's like, this is Tina and that's Maggie and that's where I eat my lunch and this is the fridge and that's where I sit down in between my, and she's like, and like the Tina and Maggie were like, this man never smiles and he is grinning ear to ear right now. Stop it.
I have one nitpicky comment to make.
Yes.
The word scoffed was used too much in this book. Every other page they're saying they scoffed in some way.
Really? I didn't notice, but I was also listening, so for the most of it.
A lot of scoffing was happening in this book.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you're reading a book and they use a word too much, it's just, it
all you
stands
can
out.
think about,
yeah, it stands out. They go back to his apartment and they are intimate, and this is what we'll say again about like the intimacy scenes. Like they would give us like a little bit of the beginning. Yeah, they're closed door. A little bit of the beginning, and then it would jump to afterwards. And I liked that a lot. I liked having that too.
Sometimes I need a break from the puss.
Yeah, and also I think with this story in particular, just the fact that like it was more like romantic and like their story together, and about their love than just like them fucking. And I think having it be closed door helped push that, like, and be like, it's not just cock and balls.
I also didn't feel like I missed this much.
Exactly.
You know? Like, because there are some books where I'm like, God, I wish they would fuck. Like, the tension is palpable.
Yeah.
This one, I feel like I didn't need it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because it was like, it was so
romantic.
and like, it was about their love. It wasn't about them fucking and having like insane sexual chemistry.
When's the last time we have described a romance book as actually romantic?
No, literally, I don't know.
Daydream was the last one. That was 6 months ago. Hannah Grace, please save us.
Please. No, like, the community needs you. So they're very closed door. And it's nice. They get to like kind of cosplay, like living together a little bit, and they're both just like, oh, this is so nice. She's like, I have to get up and do my ironing, and he's like, don't worry, I'll do it for you. He won't let her lift a finger, and it's so cute because she's like, I'll do it myself, and he's like, I know you'll do it yourself, but I want to do it for you.
We need to move on.
Anyway, they go to get breakfast at this like his friend's diner, and his friend's little sister is like boots hitting on him in front of the girlfriend.
And also hates the girlfriend.
I was like, Janessa, please.
Frankly, I would love, if I'm ever dating a man and he gets hit on in front of me, that would be amazing. Because I would not be jealous at all. I'd be like, finally.
My man is fine.
Yes.
My man is fine.
Finally, I'm dating a man that's worth being jealous over.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because it's like,
it's nice to be
I
like,
remember
people want my man.
When me and my last boyfriend were dating, he did get a text message from his last girlfriend. Mm-hmm. By the way, he had her name saved with like 2 of the like gross like wet emojis. Why do you think that? Just yeah. That man was gross. That man had some gall and some nerve. Yeah, and she texted him like basically hitting him up, and I was like, good for her. As she should. I wasn't jealous at all.
Yeah, of course you weren't. He said period. I hope he doesn't. Let's get off my back. No, right. But basically they're at this breakfast and they talk a lot about their lives and his family, and he talks about how his family like has literally been going around town because Janessa is like, hey, your mom came in and was talking about you and how you're a vet and everything, and he's like, the fuck? Walking around being like, yes, my son, he's awesome, trying to take credit for all he's made himself into since he left. And he hasn't spoken to them since he was like 17, and that made him really, really upset, obviously. And he talks about it with her, and she's like, she really is like, you know, listen, your parents are fucking insane. They're freaks, they're narcissists, and no matter what, they're gonna find a way to make you about them, no matter what you do with yourself. And
yeah, even if you had failed,
yeah,
they would have found a problem with that too.
Exactly. And that's another reason why he's like so proud of his clinic, but also like not willing to like give it up or let it sink or anything, because he's like, I want to prove to them that I turned myself into everything I said I was going to, and they can't tell me that I didn't. Which is valid. Of course he wants to be like, yeah, I made something of myself despite all the shit you put me through. Now she goes back home after a couple days, and a couple of chapters after that, it's been like a couple days since her visit, his mom calls the vet clinic. She hasn't talked to him, hasn't gaffed about him, has not called, has not done anything for years. Suddenly she's calling. He answers the phone, he's like, what the fuck do you want? And she's like, it'd be nice if you could come and like see your parents. Girl. She goes from like, oh, it'd be great to see you, to like tearing him down immediately. And it's just like, it proves his point that he's like, not only will I never ever like put myself in a situation to be in y'all's lives again, but I will also never ever let y'all meet my wife. So he goes also to visit, and he catches a red eye. I mean, she can tell that this man is so exhausted. He's just like, he's never stopped moving since the day he met her.
Literally says he's working 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And like, it's not just like working as in he like gets to go home when he's done with work. Like doctors don't get to do that.
No.
Like he's there all night, I'm sure, even when he's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Yeah. Because I'm sure he takes his work computer home with him and is still fucking logged in when he goes home.
Yeah.
And he's doing all his ER shifts, and he's just doing so much. He gets there and she's like, oh, this sweet baby is tired. So she lets him sleep. They wake up in the morning and it's her mom's birthday, and so they're like, okay, let's go and like get some stuff because we're making appetizers. And while they're at the grocery store, they find a dog that's locked in a car.
A pug.
And he rescues the dog, of course. He like shatters the window, takes the dog. The dog like collapsed, was about to die in the car, and he like
Congo blue.
Yeah, and he takes the dog out and he like helps bring her back, and like
veterinary opinion, tongue shouldn't be blue.
Period. Expert opinion. And it's like it's hot. He like saves the day. Okay.
He saves the dog, and then the owner walks up and he's like, you shattered my fucking window, and yeah, I'm not taking that damn dog to the fucking. I'm not taking it to the ER. Are you serious? Because not only did you shatter my window,
right,
but I also got a ticket for leaving the dog in the car. No. And he turns around and he's like, the fuck you mean you're not taking? He's not giggling and laughing.
No. He stands up.
He's serving.
Yeah, like, because he was knelt down, like, with the dog on the floor. Mind you, there's a whole crowd of people who are all filming this, by the way. He's, like, kneeling down. He stands up, and he has inches on this man. And he... no, really, though. No, if I'm her, I'm staring at him like, that's so... The first thing, you care so much about other people and other creatures and other animals. And then you also...
And you're willing to fight this man.
Yeah, you were willing to fight this man about... protecting this dog.
Either way, the man leaves the dog, and she's just like, well, always wanted a pug.
Yeah, and they had earlier been like, what if we, because they had conversations about like, do you want kids? Like, do you want to have a family? What would you do if like I wasn't able to have kids? I thought that was such an interesting thing to add, like talking about their future in that way, which I liked, because I feel like a lot of times in these books, it's like,
they're so incompatible, like
right,
low key, and they don't have these conversations. And then it's like, well, I know they're gonna break up because they're not compatible.
They're incompatible. They're literally in like a crazy age gap relationship, and then their entire relationship is about their physical chemistry, and then suddenly she's pregnant. Girl. But this was nice. It was nice to see them have like an actual adult conversation.
But I will say, I hate this joke. I think it's so unfunny when people are like, would you love me if I was a worm? What does that question even mean? And also, get an original joke. It pisses me off so bad. And I know get an original joke is rich coming from me after I just laughed over Poop Lovato. But
they go back to the house and they have dinner with the whole family, and he gets to meet her grandma, and it's a really sweet. And then they get a text message being like, your man's going viral on TikTok for being a VILF.
I was so confused by that. I was like, huh?
Yeah, veterinarian
I'd like to fuck.
Yeah.
Millennials. I know she's technically Gen X, but like millennials.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, like, I was like, okay, again with the going viral, but also like it did make me
the worm
giggle.
joke on the back of the VILF. I was like,
I know, it did make me giggle. However, the comments that she was reading left off of the video, I think a tear just ran down my leg. I was like, that is so on the nose.
Well, the thing, well,
like, what the fuck?
I will say, I did not enjoy the only reason I didn't enjoy it is because it's like, yes, those are the types of comments being left. My issue with it was that they are literally the comments being left.
Right, exactly.
Like, there's one where she's like, I need him in such a way that's like disturbing to feminism or something like that. Brittany Broski, I feel like, has a case. If I were her, I would be like, you can't put that in your book and not give me credit for that, in my opinion.
Is that something she says?
Yes!
Oh.
That's why that joke is popular, is because she made that joke the first time. And then now a lot of people comment it, which, like, I mean, I don't know. I was just, like, that's the thing is I don't like internet references.
Oh, yeah, no, me neither.
And so I was like, even though that, yes, like, my whole is pulsing your name in Morse code is indeed being left on every single TikTok.
Right.
Every single thirst TikTok.
No, yeah, it made me laugh because I was like, she did her research. She went to the thirst trap and she said, what are the comments looking like? Because a tear just ran down my leg is so... And it's also a comment that gets left like now, currently. Like it's very like a current thing.
But it's not.
But it's also, but it's also like, it puts a timestamp on your book.
Yeah.
You know? Regardless.
It's also like, it's not your joke.
Yeah, yeah. Regardless, he's like, oh my God, what the fuck? And she's like, everybody wants my man. Again, it's so hot when people are like, oh my,
I'd be like, I'd be taking him upstairs quickly.
No, like it's really nice to be like, oh my God, like people think
my man is hot.
Yeah. So then a couple weeks later, he's back at his house or back in Minnesota, and Tina and Maggie are like, so we had an idea that I think might help you like alleviate some of what's going on with you. What if you hired another employee? And he goes out and there's an older gentleman sitting in the lobby and he's like, hey, like I, am retired, but I'm a veterinarian as well. And I would love to like work here literally for no money. You don't have to pay me. I just want to like have something to do. My wife passed away and like, I'd love to come work here. And I know Tina and Maggie because they used to work with me. And he's like, oh shit. That's gonna help me out a ton because then I don't have to always fucking be here. Someone else can come in and help out and I don't have to pay him. Like, that's amazing. Mind you, he's like, please let me pay you. Please let me pay you. And he's like, nah. I just wanna.
But he also can't afford to pay him.
Yeah.
Which is why this is even happening.
Yeah, exactly. But it's so sweet that he's
and you know what? This is a good example of not forced conflict.
Yeah.
She was outlining the issue and telling us exactly why he couldn't hire somebody else. Yeah. And now she gave us a solution.
Yeah.
But this has been a conversation that's been happening throughout the whole book. Yeah. Tina and Maggie and Samantha are like, why the fuck won't you hire someone else?
Yeah, and he's like, I can't afford to.
Yeah. And he outlines why. And I'm like, okay, I'm there.
Yeah, yeah. But
the conflict's not feeling so forced.
No. He gets a phone call from Samantha and she's like,
Boots.
My grandmother has passed away. Very suddenly, grandma's passed away in her sleep, which is so sad. Like, as if this family couldn't have had it any worse at this point. Like,
really kicking them while they're down.
No, really. Her grandmother passes away unexpectedly, and so he immediately gets on a flight to come see her. Naturally, the family is like in disarray, trying to figure out what the fuck to do, like
how to deal with it in terms of Lisa.
Yeah, because she keeps asking for her mom, and they don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And she swallows her AirPod.
I thought that was so strange. I was like, where are we?
You know, also, how do you swallow an AirPod by accident? I feel like
I thought it was a pill. Right. I can't even swallow a pill.
Right, a pill and an AirPod are different sizes. I get that they're like, but damn, an AirPod, I feel like you put that in your mouth and you know it's an AirPod.
I guess like she was trying to convey like how stressed she was.
Yeah.
Which I get, but I don't know on what planet I'm swallowing an AirPod.
That thing is massive.
Yeah.
It's not going down.
Like, it was the middle of the night.
That thing is not going down. Regardless, she swallows her AirPod. And they, he stays for a longer period of time now, one, because he can, since he has this new, like, guy working at the vet, but also, they need help with, like, they need help at the house, and he helps set up the funeral, and...
I will say, he kind of clocked them really bad, because he's like, I'm kind of noticing that Grandma was doing all the work, and it's crazy to me that they don't realize that. And I was like...
So, ooh.
Yeah, I was like,
We're feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
But they, after the wake, he has to head back home and he has to leave like straight from the wake. And on the way out, he says like, I'm falling in love with you. It's sweet. And it's also bittersweet because she's like, I really need him, want him to stay and be here, but he obviously can't. And they then have a conversation, her and the family, and the dad recommends they put Lisa in like an assisted living home. And all of the kids are like, abso-fucking-lutely not. Mm-hmm. And he's like so mean about it.
And he's like, well, check yourself, because who's staying up with her at all hours of the night because she can't sleep? Right. Who's changing her diapers?
Yeah.
Who can't even leave the house?
Right.
Who's for 2 hours without scaring the shit out of her?
Right. Who's helping feed her and giving her a shower?
And he clocks their teeth bad because he goes,
badly.
He goes, you think you're doing something because you're dyeing her hair and putting makeup on?
No.
The silence that just ensued between the two of us was the silence that ensued between the family.
No, literally, they were all like, oh, right. And then the brother is like, well, that's rich coming from you since you're cheating on our mother.
And he's like, yeah, I am cheating on her. You don't get to tell me what I can and can't do when you're not even in my position.
Right.
And frankly, I think he was so right.
He was so right.
I thought this was so, of course it's sad, and it's like, we all want to be frustrated with him, but ultimately, I think he's doing the right thing. He's staying with his wife. He's still doing that caregiver role, but he's not getting any love from her. She's not really capable of that. I don't want to assume what their sex life is like, but I would assume they're probably not having a lot of sex.
No. So they're not having, no, I mean, they're not. They're also like very young. That's also the thing. Like the dementia came to her mother at a very young age. She's in her 50s. Like that's
he deserves to still be in love with somebody. And that's exactly what he says. He's like, I'm never going to leave her. I'm always going to take care of her and I will always love her, but I deserve love too.
And even then he was like, I don't even think he was saying like, I'm seeing someone like, and I'm falling in love with them. He was like, it's like a physical relationship I'm having with someone. Like sometimes I just need someone to hold me, you know? And this was a very interesting conversation to bring into this context as well. Because like you said, of course it's devastating and sad to think that way, like, oh, he's cheating on our mother, but also like you have to have sympathy for the situation he's in. Again, handling these topics with such care and really making you sit down and think about like what would you do?
And the answer is, I don't know.
And that's what I would have said to the younger brother coming at me with a fucking attitude. Like, you also had lots of time to be like, well, if he is cheating on our mother, why is that? And then think about it. Like, have some sympathy. Hello? Either way, you don't know how you're going to react in that situation. So,
I will say, so she calls Xavier one day, and she's like, it's 71 degrees today, and I'm about to hop in this conference call, girl. And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh no. I was like, oh no. Yeah, she got fired. She got fired for show.
The way my jaw hit the floor, I said, can this girl catch a break?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's thing after thing after thing. Dude, he's like, oh my God, like, he wants to come see her so bad, but he's like, I literally cannot, like, the money is not there. Dude. 3 months later, down the line, she's like basically Lisa's full-time caretaker now because she doesn't have another job, and so she's like, well, I might as well, like, you know, take in that role that grandma was filling, and, you know.
And she talks with her family, and they all step up. So that way the dad doesn't have to do it anymore. And I think a good example of it was she clocks the little brother's tea. Yeah. And to be fair, she's clocking the little brother's tea a lot. This was the one time it was valid. All the other times I feel like it was really invalid and she was just picking on her brother. Yeah. But she's like, you always stay up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning because you don't have a job. So why don't you stay up with mom until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning?
So our dad can sleep.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's like, oh, you kind of clocked my shit.
Yeah.
Kind of clocked my shit.
And she's like, I will not take a new job if it means that somebody else can pay my portion of the rent.
Yeah. And so they have this conversation, and she's also like realizing like, wow, it is really difficult to take care of mom full time like this. Like, this is hard. And one of the days, Tristan like wakes her up in the middle of the night, and he's like, hey girl, I got you a ticket to go see your man. You're welcome. Tristan was being really boots nice to her, even though she was always attacking him. But anyway, she gets her the ticket. She flies there. She's so excited. And then she calls her man. And she's like, wait, hey, where are you? And he's like, I
knew this was going to happen. As soon as they started surprising each other on trips, I knew this was bound to happen. I was like, also, I have been in 3 long-distance relationships. 3. 4 if you count the one I'm currently in. 3, I have never once been surprised by a trip.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll jump off a building.
I mean, it was super cute the way they were trying to surprise each other, and when it worked that one time, it was adorable. However, we got busy schedules, and we got to make sure we're aligning, you know, because this situation is awful. They both flew to the other person's apartment, and so now he's like, okay, I'll get on a flight back. He's also like sick. He gets back, and she had cleaned his whole apartment because she's like, oh, my sweet baby is like dying in here. Like his apartment's in disarray, like clearly not well. He gets back, and she's like, are you okay? Like he looks like
Sickly.
Death's doorstep, and he's like, yeah, I think I have to go to the hospital. I think I have double pneumonia. Wait,
what the fuck is double pneumonia?
Girl, like his oxygen levels were so fucking low. He's like, I gotta go to the hospital, girl. She's like, it's bad. And they both just kind of have a conversation being like, this is really fucking hard. And he's like, but wait, you're not trying to break up, are you? And she's like, no, I fucking love you. And honestly, I loved that. I was like, for a second, I was like, please God, not the third act breakup. Yeah. And there wasn't one. And I loved that. No third act breakup. They were like, we're gonna make it work. I love that. And once he gets well, he has a conversation with his name is Hank, the older veterinarian. And Hank is like, why is it that you're staying here and not going to California? And he's like, he says all the reasons why. And he's like, listen, I get it. However, I did realize that I think I was the vet that you came to when you were a child with your dog. And he's like,
I guess I should have seen that coming, but I didn't.
I did not see that coming either. I don't know how. Maybe I was so engrossed in the story that I was just like,
I guess, yeah.
But he reveals that it was him that he came to with the dog when he was younger, and he's like,
you owe me $1,500.
I came to collect.
Yeah, the money now.
Yeah. But no, he's like, the thing is, I understand why you care so much about your clinic and you want to see it thrive and everything, to like stick it to your parents. But at the end of the day, you've already stuck it to them by getting as far as you have. I can tell you one thing, if I had more time with my wife, I would take it in a heartbeat. Get out of here.
And he's like, but my credit is gonna be so fucked up. And he's like, I've been bankrupt twice. You should just do it.
I said, oh, that's interesting advice. he said, fuck around and find out, why don't we? I mean,
he's like, you're a good doctor. You'll be able to fix your credit. And he's like, okay.
He's like, making sense. And he's like, but what about Tina and Maggie? What about this? He's like, girl, again.
Tina and Maggie don't gaff about you like that.
No, they do, but like not to the point where they're going to be like, he didn't want to put them out of a job. But he's like, girl, we can there's always a way through. And he's like, if I could have more time with my wife, I would take it in a heartbeat. Don't miss opportunities to spend time with her. You love her, just go. So he starts activating to do so. Meantime, Samantha has gotten a new job. And like you said, she's like, y'all, we all need to step up. I'll take this new job, or I'll keep being like the primary caregiver, but y'all gotta step the fuck up. Also, Tristan apologized to our father. And he's like, okay.
Why does she have to? Okay, here's the thing. I think she doesn't need to clock his tea on that. I think it's totally valid for Tristan to be upset.
Yeah. We all are valid to our emotions in this.
Especially because it's like, especially when you're finding out in the moment, or he's keeping it a secret. I feel like if he had come to everyone and was like, I'm gonna do this, and you guys are just gonna have to find it in your hearts to forgive me, the reaction might have been a little different.
But it was very secretive,
yeah. Since he was being secretive about it, nobody likes being lied to or like being felt like there's something like, going on right under their nose and they don't know it, so... Yeah. But I think that he's totally valid for getting mad at him. Yeah. Why did you have to clock his tea like that?
Right.
There's always something.
Let me apologize in my own time.
Yeah.
I'll come with an apology, but when I'm ready. Like, but either way, they all kind of have like a family meeting and get themselves together. Now, 3 months after that, it's been a long time since she's seen her man. And she's like, but things are better at the house. Renovations are done. Mom's been in a better place because they like changed her medication and they've kind of all figured out a schedule that works for them and taking care of her. And one day she goes outside and she sees her mom is out there with a dog. And she's like, who the fuck? This is not my pug. So whose dog is this? And she realizes, she turns around, lo and behold, her man is there. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing here? And then she's like, wait, you drove here? Question mark? And he's like,
and why's the dog here?
right, the dog?
We all know how hard health certificates are.
Right. And he's like, yeah, I'm moving here. Like, I'm...
Can't do nothing about it.
Can't do nothing about that. Like, my shit's here, so I'm moving in. And he tells her, like, I figured out what to do with the clinic.
Oh, also, by the way, I really appreciated, she was giving us, like, little hints of, like the seasons changing, or she'll be like, it's been 3 months since I've seen him, or whatever. It didn't feel forced, and there were little droplets of, like, here's how long it's been.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's been a whole year.
Yeah.
Thank God they've been dating for a year. Period.
Yeah.
Because, again, in so many romance novels, I'm looking at you, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. It's, like, pregnant in 3 months.
Yeah, what? We just met a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Like, no.
No. Yeah, I love that it was like, okay, this is a good enough time to be
and
in
she
a
was like, I want to make it
relationship.
really clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been together for a while. They've been doing long distance for a while.
Yeah, also, a year in long distance time is like 15 years normal time.
And also, like, they're clearly soulmates, so, duh. But they still took their time to do what they had to do.
Period.
So, he shows up and he's like, yeah, I'm moving here and that's just a situation. And she's like, that's a crazy way to ask me to get married to you. And he's like, well, do you know? And she's like, yeah. And that's really sweet. It's really sweet that he like is like, I don't gaff about keeping the clinic the way it is. I figured out what to do with it. I could give less of a fuck about proving my parents wrong at this point. I just want to be with you. Like, I just want to be with you and be with your family and be here. So sweet. And in our epilogue, they're married. It's a year down the line and they're married but no kids. For once, it's like not like immediately we're gonna push out some babies. They're just married. And he has actually opened a clinic location in California because shit just worked out for him. He kept the clinic going in Minnesota. After his VILF video, things started to pop off. So, you know, he got some other volunteers at the clinic there and it kept doing well so he could open a new spot, which was amazing for him. And yeah, they're married and he's taking the nephews like with him to the clinic for the day because obviously the nephews love him. And they're taking mom out for a drive in the convertible
which is a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal because the first time she tried to, did not go well. But they put her in the car and they're driving around. I think it was, what was it? Like an anniversary or her birthday or something. I can't remember why, but they're taking her out in the car and driving around and they're just all, she's kind of like thinking about how nice it is that her whole family is able to spend this time together and make these memories, even though like the memories for her mom won't stick, they'll still be able to like share these memories with her on their side. And yeah, I think it ended really nicely. This is an epilogue I read that I was not like pissed off at. I was like, this is a lovely epilogue.
Read the epilogue.
I know you do. Yeah, but it was nice for me to read it and not be like, okay, so we have 2 kids that I had in 1 calendar year. And then like it was a nice, it felt really settled. And the way the book ended, it wasn't like, it was like, we're walking off into the sunset. I mean, they did walk off in the sunset, but the book ended with her in the car with her mom, not with her and him.
Yeah, and like a clear plan for the rest of their life. Like, it's like, yeah. Because I will say, as much as I hate the Hannah Grace epilogues, I think, like you said, it's a really great point. I think that it's fun that, like, we get to see their lives progress, like, more and more into the future.
Yeah.
I think it's nice that we're kind of getting a glimpse into, like, what their married life is actually going to be. Yeah. Instead of just 3 months later, we're still together.
Yeah. And also, I'm pregnant. Like, no. It felt so realistic. You know what I mean? Like, it's been a year. We're now married, but we're still at our same ages, and so we just have our pets. Mm-hmm. And again, her B plot was important, mm-hmm. and I love that it, at the end of the day, it was like, this story of our romance is important, but so is the story of what's happening with my family and my mother. Mm-hmm. And to end it with her being in the car with her mom instead of it doing something with the man.
What was the book we read where there was literally smut in the epilogue, and it pissed me off so bad?
Oh my god, it was Twisted Hate. That pissed me off so fucking bad. Oh my god, yeah, like this was just such a better epilogue. This is how you do an epilogue correctly if you're gonna do one.
I hate epilogues.
Because usually you don't need one, but if you're gonna do it correctly, and this was correct. So that's the end of our book. As you can see, we clearly really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was probably not a 5 out of 5. Like it's no 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. That's my gold standard for a book.
I've never read that.
You need to.
I know.
We can even cover it next week. I'll read it for the 3rd time.
Okay, I'm down. Well, yeah.
I love that book. Anyways,
yeah.
We'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
That's my gold standard for a good book. Also in there is Red, White, and Royal Blue.
I know. for different reasons.
Yeah. So this is like a 4 out of 5. I
Yeah.
don't think it's going to be particularly memorable for me. Like, I don't think I'm going to pick it back up and read it again in a few years. Like, I do. I read Red, White, and Royal Blue at least once a year. Like, whenever I get like, I read it right after the election because I was really sad.
Yeah.
Like, if I start feeling, like, just hopeless about the world, I like to read that one. So that's what a 5-star book is for me.
Yeah.
It's not very memorable to me, but it was romantic. It was well written. It was kind of annoying, but that's okay.
It had its millennial humor, but like that's to be expected with any rom-com.
And it wasn't harmful.
Yeah, it wasn't harmful. That part, it wasn't harmful. Yeah, I gave this a 4.5. The only reason why I didn't give it an extra 5 is because, like you said, I don't think I'll probably pick it up and read it again. However, I do think it was memorable just for the fact that like this was a rom-com that I was like, this is a really good book, and it had so much more to it than just the rom and the com. Like, and the rom was actually romantic.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel like Hannah Grace, please save us.
Yeah. No,
Bring romantic books back.
yeah, and you know what? Abby Jimenez is saving us too, because this book just came out like
She's not Hannah Grace to me. I love her so much.
I know, but I'm saying like, you know, she's doing her part. She's doing her part, because this was, I really liked it, and there was just so much more to it than just like, oh, we're fucking all the time. Like, there was so much to this book, so I recommend highly. Yeah.
I agree. I recommend it as well.
Yeah, it was really good. And if you liked it, please let us know in the comments. And also, if you've read it and you know your friends read it, maybe you have a book club. Send it to all your book club friends.
Well,
and
you're
watch
kind of
it
in a book
together.
club with us.
That's so true. But send this video to all your friends who've read this book, who love Abby Jimenez, who love, you know, a hot man who's competent. And give us a follow, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.